Good day, everybody. Thank you for coming. We're going to allow some more people to come in. Glad to have you here. I am Chuck McGee III. I am an Oxygen Advantage Master Instructor, and I cannot wait to talk to you about posture and biomechanics. Well, as it applies to all things, but specifically for the running 5K challenge. Nasal focused, of course. We'll give everyone a minute to get in here. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for your time and attention today. I feel they're the most valuable resources we possess. So, we ready? Welcome, everyone. If you'd like, let us know where you're from. Let us know what you'd like to get out of today's session. And since you're here, we'll probably be able to accommodate you. All right. Okie dokie. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. As I said before, my name is Chuck McGee III. I'm an Oxygen Advantage Master Instructor, and today I'm here to talk to you about biomechanics and posture. We're going to also add the caveat of this is how you're supposed to be standing and moving and breathing while performing the nasal 5K challenge. Most runners don't lose races because their muscles fatigue. They lose races because of their breath control. And I've seen it time and time again. Just to show people, I want everyone to lean forward like you're on your phone or you're at your computer. And I want you to try and take a nice, big, deep breath in when you're leaned forward like this. And if you can take a full, deep breath, you're my hero, because that's not physiologically possible to do that. So if you're sitting, I want you to put your feet flat on the floor, open your hands like so, put them on your thighs, and push your knees into the wall. Drop your shoulders back, and I want your ears over your shoulders over your hips, your knees at 90 degrees, your elbows at 90 degrees, and your eyes parallel with the ground. Next, we get to do my favorite exercise of all time, because you all get to look as crazy as me, if just briefly. Smile big, eyebrows up, and swallow, and you'll feel your tongue go to the roof of your mouth. This is where it should sit when we're breathing nasally. Now, you don't want your tongue pushing against your teeth, and when you engage that, you have a piece of fascia that goes from your tongue all the way down through your body to the tips of your toes. When that's engaged, you are supporting your body. Without the tongue in place, you may not be able to hit that proper posture as easily as you'd like. So again, smile big, eyebrows up, and swallow. I want you to bend your index finger like so and place it gently in the hollow of your neck with your middle finger and thumb resting gently on your neck. As you breathe in through your nose, you want your neck to stay soft. So many people who take these short, shallow mouth breaths have their neck flare to lift their rib cage. This is just stress, and you don't want that. So simply having your hand here can give you that feedback to keep your neck relaxed as you breathe. Head held high. Take a nice slow breath in. How's that feel? When you're running, you want to try and keep your neck relaxed as you're nasal breathing. And if you're nasal breathing like that, you're probably pushing too hard. Slow down. Next is, what is your upper rib cage doing? We want to avoid the vertical rise of the rib cage. So we don't want our ribs, put your middle fingers together just beneath the collarbone, elbows relaxed. As you breathe in, this is a suboptimal breath. Everything rises vertically. Now that's over dramatic, of course, but it's still what I see in most people. As you take a breath in, you can take your thumb and put them behind your pectoral muscle if you like and leave your elbows out. Push in right behind those pecs. And if you're pushing to a point where you're like, this feels a little uncomfortable, congratulations, you're doing it correctly. Focus on that discomfort. Keep your jaw relaxed, keep your head held high, and gently through the nose, as you take a breath in, allow your ribs to open laterally. I'm not moving my hands, my ribs are moving them for me. So as I take that nice lateral breath in, the sternum moves like an old-timey water pump handle. The ribs open, allowing the lungs to inflate. Next, take your thumbs, find your lower ribs right down that center line. I want a gentle push into those lower ribs, just enough where you want to curse at me. That's how you know you're doing it right. Head held high. Take that nice slow breath in, and instead of going vertical, you want your ribs to push your thumbs away from your body like so. Now, this is a biomechanical breath, a lateral expansion of the lower ribs, lateral expansion of the upper ribs, soft neck, tongue to the roof of the mouth, jaw relaxed. Now, this isn't just for running. We would like you to be able to breathe in this manner, laying, sitting, standing, walking, and running. One of these 5 places is going to be easier for you to hit a biomechanical breath. So find out where that is and practice there. I like to set an alarm on my phone that goes off 5 times a day. When the alarm goes off, I check my posture. And here's a little bit of body magic. If you're standing up, all you need to do is take 2 or 3 steps back. Take 2 or 3 steps back, and it'll realign your posture. If you want to get kind of fun and silly about it, if anyone remembers the band Creed from the 90s, stand like you're on a Creed album. Hands facing the way your eyes are looking, shoulders open, and if you want to increase the relaxation a little bit, tilt your head up and expose your neck. Look silly? Absolutely fantastic for nervous system regulation. Maybe not on a crowded elevator, but do what you need to do. So we all go through these common mistakes. So we've got fixes for them when you're running. The first one that we just went over is poor posture. Slouching compresses your lungs and diaphragm. It restricts your breath. And the first thing that goes, even if my head comes forward just an inch, is my ribcage alignment. So keep the head up, keep the ears over the shoulders. Lateral expansion of the upper and lower ribs, and it's not just sideways. You literally create space in your body for the lungs to expand. One of my favorite tools, and I'm sorry, this is probably going to break the bank, costs about $1 US or maybe 75 cents wherever you live. This is a cloth measuring tape. I prefer the centimeter side because it makes me feel like I'm doing more. And you wrap it around your body, right underneath the armpits for the first one. And you'll notice that if I take an improper breath and go vertical, I don't create any space. But if I take that correct lateral breath, I create this much space in my body for my lungs to inflate. When you're running, when you're exercising, when you're moving throughout the day, this is vital for endurance. That faster breath we're taking, that faster rhythm that you're finding, breathes off more CO2, your veins and arteries constrict, your blood pressure and heart rate spike. This is just from improper posture. Adding proper posture, adding proper biomechanics, lower ribs, same thing, vertical breath, no space, lateral breath. About that same, hands with the space within the body. Create your space. I love this tool. I would also suggest a Buteyko belt. If you're not quite used to the lateral expansion on your lower ribs, don't bind yourself, but use something that really informs your body that I should be breathing laterally with these lower ribs. And that's how you can really reinforce and stack your posture. Take time throughout the day when you use the restroom, when you get into your car, instead of holding the wheel like this, grab the wheel at the bottom and pull yourself upright. If you're sitting at your desk, make sure your monitor allows your eyes to be parallel with the ground. Find numerous places throughout the day, whether it's an alarm on your phone or just a place where you can check in and it's almost effortless. The more you try and add, the more neurologically your brain's going to be like, I don't like this. This is a new trend. Stop. So do your best to add this into what you're already doing rather than trying to change everything from the ground up. Just give yourself a couple times throughout the day to check your posture. And I know it's in the evening for some of our folks in Europe and the UK, and it's morning time for us in the US. So I want to do an exercise with everyone that I do multiple times throughout the day. I call it stress venting. And open your hands, relax your jaw, have yourself sit tall, ears over shoulders, eyes parallel with the ground. We're going to take 5 breaths. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds, out for 6 seconds through the nose, applying everything we just learned. Tongue to the roof of the mouth, jaw relaxed, soft neck, lateral expansion of the upper and lower ribs. Here we go. I'll count, just breathe with me. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Stretch at the top. Hold that for a second. Let it go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 50 seconds of your time. Multiple times throughout the day, give yourself an excuse to drop into a mildly parasympathetic breath. This is also a phenomenal breath to utilize after your workout. Whenever you're done working out, whenever you're done running, in 4, out 6 for a couple minutes to let your body know, I am done with that stress. It is time to drop into a recovery state. I don't want you just to be able to crush the 5K nasal challenge. I want you to recover and be stronger afterwards. And it's up to you to send your body the signal that it's time to recover. So whether it's a stressful moment in the office, you're finished with a workout, bookend that experience with a parasympathetic breath, which is just an exhale that is 1.5 times longer than your inhale. I like in 4, out 6 personally. And let your body and mind know that that situation is finished. Believe it or not, you're going to recover a bit faster. Give it a shot. Next, one of the worst issues I see when people start to run probably about halfway through is they really start chest breathing. Instead of finding that nice, gentle nasal breath that allows vasodilation, allows better delivery of oxygen, better recovery of CO2 throughout the system, they start breathing faster. And while yes, that does give you 100% of human athletic output, it does come at the cost of your endurance. So if it's the last 10 feet of your run, maybe not so bad, but it's not necessary. Most of our athletic output can be done nasally. And one of the ways to fold this into what you're already doing is to count your steps and your breath. So if I'm jogging, I take 4 steps to an inhale, 4 steps to an exhale. That embodies my breath and my movement. It gives me that sense of influence and control, and my breath isn't just running away with me, because nasal breathing is nice, but when you structure it with the body opening and closing, suddenly, for me at least, I feel like I've got almost an endless amount of energy. So chest breathing, if you're like the last 10, 20 feet of your sprint and you're really going to win, may be helpful. For the rest of the time, that nice lateral movement of the body as you're running, with your neck soft, your body held high, is going to allow you to keep the endurance and strength to keep going. Now, if your bolt score is a little higher and you're like, I can do that without any problem, maybe try holding your breath for 5 or 6 steps on that neutral exhale. It can be as difficult or as easy as you'd like. However, if after those 5 steps you go, you've pushed too far, we don't ever want to make that noise. So nice and calm, controlled, and relaxed as much as you can. And if you're at the beginning of your journey and you're like, I don't know if I can run just nasally, that's okay. Let's practice walking around the block with a nasal breath. It's a great place to start. In for 4 steps, out for 4 steps. Getting your posture down. If you're not used to doing this, really getting the foundation down, walking and moving slowly, is only going to pay dividends when you start jogging and running. So start slow. Start with a walk down the block. Can you do that nasal breathing? And if you can't walk down the block nasal breathing, maybe take some more time, improve your bolt score before you try running. This isn't an overnight thing. Just because we said, try the nasal breathing 5K challenge doesn't mean I can do it tomorrow. It takes time. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy, but you can do it. So with that, the cue I want you to remember is run tall, not tight. You want your jaw to be relaxed. You want to imagine there's a string pulling you upright. You want to run in that correct posture. And if this is not something you've done before or you've practiced before, one of the big tips I can give you is push with that big toe to stabilize the body, to really engage the glutes. They're one of the strongest muscles you've got in your body. Please use them. So don't slouch. And if you find yourself slouching, you find yourself mouth breathing, that's okay. Slow down, stand tall, recover, and then see if you can step back into that exercise. For, non-running exercises like, say, swimming, you still want that lateral and biomechanical movement within the body. So I actually have more reach if I am taking that lateral breath. So if I'm swimming and have to take that lateral breath, I'm still breathing biomechanically correctly. So don't sacrifice biomechanics because you have to shift where you're getting the air in because of the exercise you're executing. Remember, that movement is only going to pay dividends over time. Don't bring that stress into your body. Allow it to move in a way that's more productive and helpful for you. So beyond chest breathing, we've got mouth breathing. And I see it happen within a lot of people's exercises. They're doing great, and suddenly they gas out. They compromise their posture, and they start breathing in and out through the mouth. And what they tell me is, I just need more oxygen. That's not actually what's happening within your body. What you've just encountered is your CO2 threshold. That urge to breathe is dictated by your body's sensitivity to carbon dioxide. This is where an exercise like Breathe Light is absolutely fantastic. Not while you're running, but beforehand, you can use Breathe Light as a way to warm up the body. Get it used to having a little bit less oxygen, a little bit higher CO2. Warm up your lungs and diaphragm so that when you're running, you can access it. You're used to it. You've practiced Breathe Light a little bit. If you want something a little bit more structured, you can use freediving CO2 tables. They're amazing. They help work your CO2 threshold, but just please be aware, CO2 tables are personal. You're only supposed to do one a day, and you are supposed to allow your body time to recover. So you go-getters out there, that's not 7 CO2 tables a day. That's not 7 a week. It's usually one every other day with a break on the weekend or just a 2-day break. So you can overdo it and you won't see the results you're looking for if you do. Nasal breathing humidifies, filters, releases nitric oxide as you're breathing, which is a vasodilator, which only helps blood flow through your body. So if you can't nasal breathe at the pace you're moving too fast. Slow down. And it's okay. So I want you right now to breathe for 10 seconds with me through the mouth. Here we go. Anyone feel better? Anyone feel awesome? Like this is the way to start the day? Stop what you're doing. Open your hands, relax the jaw, push yourself tall, and take 3 nasal breaths with me. 1. 2. 3. That's within your control. So if you find yourself raising your heart rate, raising your blood pressure, off-gassing that CO2, is it conscious? If it's not conscious, take a break, take a moment and reset. You may not hit that perfect time. It may not be exactly what you'd like, but it's what your body needs. Give it what it needs. Slow down, check your posture, check your breath, reset, and then continue your workout. That breath helps optimize the body's CO2 and O2 exchange. This really does play into an increase in endurance, better recovery time, and an overall better feel while you're exercising. So, mouth breathing, if done consciously, can be helpful. If done unconsciously, it's going to destroy your endurance and make things a lot more stressful than they need to be. So, the thing I most often see people skipping for time is the warm-up and the cool-down. We've just went over a few moments ago that the cool-down is important, ending with a parasympathetic breath to let your body know it's time to recover. It's vital to a proper workout to warm up the body. Going from 0 to 100 generally induces overbreathing. That mouth breath, that bringing of stress into the body that we're trying to avoid. So, we're going to do one of my favorite exercises. It's known as the Cognitive Reset Protocol, or 8-5-12-5. All we're going to do is check our posture, sit tall, jaw relaxed. You can practice biomechanics. Now, this does include a 12-second exhale and an 8-second inhale. If that is too hard to do nasally, you can restrict that and only breathe through one nostril. If you'd like for this exercise, and you need to start in this place, I'd like you to eventually evolve into strictly nasal breathing. You can purse your lips and breathe as if you're breathing in through a straw, making sure to get the lateral movement in the lower and upper ribs. Now, we're going to do this for 2 minutes. So sit tall, relax your jaw, yawn and stretch if you need to. And I know you've got 2 minutes before your workout to warm up your body. So here we go, everybody. And it's okay if on the first round of this, your body is getting used to it. It will get easier as you progress. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, this is going to be our last one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a nice slow breath in. You can use this for warming up. You can use this before a meeting. You can use this after a meeting. This is one of the things I do throughout my day to slow everything down and reset. It has another name, but I don't tell people until after they've done it. This is also known as the 30-second breath. Congratulations if you did it. You just took 4 breaths in 2 minutes. Well done. And if those numbers are too much for you, that's too hard, cut everything in half. In 4, hold for 3, out for 6, hold for 3. That's around 4 breaths a minute. That's still much slower than we breathe on average. I like those numbers that high because it distracts my prefrontal cortex. And if I'm in that state where I know I need to work out, but I'm feeling a bit of resistance, I do that to calm my body down so that I can step into that state. So many people confuse comfortable and relaxed. If you're sitting in a way that feels comfortable, realize that might not be optimal. The body is looking for easy, not optimal. Optimal takes conscious intervention. So if you find yourself sitting suboptimally, do your best to gently correct it. If you find yourself running suboptimally, it requires a gentle course correction. Don't be super rough on yourself. Don't be hyper fixated on it. Just gently correct and step into that proper posture as it suits you and as it fits you. There's no reason to beat yourself up over this. Like, oh my God, I'm such a failure. This is my job, and I catch myself mouth breathing sometimes. I'm going to be gentle about that, and I'm going to correct to a nasal lateral breath when I find myself in that situation. So again, if 8, 5, 12, 5 is too much, try in 4, hold 3, out 6, hold 3. Those gentle holds are kind of where the magic happens, in my opinion. It gives your body just a moment to incorporate. That being said, if you find yourself getting too tense right now, I want everyone just to stretch and take a deep breath. Look up. Give yourself that moment of relief a couple times an hour. I like to say every 20 minutes, give yourself 20 seconds. This isn't just for a workout. I mean, if you're running, you're running. But if you're sitting at your desk, if you're going through the long slog of work, give yourself a moment. You will find that you're more productive. So please don't skip the warm-up. Don't skip the cool down. bookend these sessions so that your body knows that it's time to enter that recovery state. It's time to begin healing. It's time to actually start working out. It's time to bring up the energy level. But this is at your desire. You're not being chased by anything. So if I'm running like this, mouth breathing, that's gently telling my body there's something behind me and it's going to eat me. So my heart rate's going to go up, my blood pressure is going to go up, my endurance is going to crash out, but I am going to have a little burst of speed for a little bit, which can be helpful sometimes, not for a 5K run. However, when I was taught proper posture for running, I was taught that this is called the hunter's pose. When you're moving upright, breathing in and out through the nose, humans can run down almost any animal on land. The only one that gives us trouble is a horse. Otherwise, we can run down any other animal over time. We have that capability. That capability is dependent upon us breathing correctly, moving with proper posture, running with proper posture, and enforcing a nasal breath. As you enforce that nasal breath, your veins and arteries dilate. I like to use rush hour traffic as my favorite example as to why ignoring air hunger can be at your own peril. This is the 5th mistake we can make, is ignoring air hunger. If it's a busy day, it's about to be rush hour traffic, and it's usually a 4-lane highway, mouth breathing constricts the veins and arteries, or the highways and byways of the body, and now those 4 lanes are 2. You still have the same amount of traffic. It's just your blood pressure and heart rate need to move up to move the blood through the veins and arteries. You don't have the right chemical saturation in your body to get an optimal O2 and CO2 delivery and recovery. But by slowing down, breathing in and out through the nose, we turn those 4 lanes into 6. CO2 is a vasodilator. So as you're exercising, as you're moving, as you're holding more CO2 in your system, your veins and arteries dilate. 6 lanes during rush hour traffic, that's what I'm talking about. Proper delivery of oxygen to the cells, proper recovery of CO2, optimized body. This is how we were made, except optimal is not what our body looks for. It looks for easy, and this is easy. But it's not optimal. Work that CO2 threshold, whether it's through breathe light, whether it's through CO2 tables, whether it's through whatever you find advantageous to strengthen that CO2 threshold. Step into it, and you actively have to do this. I don't know of another way to reduce your minute ventilation besides working your CO2 threshold. I can consciously do it. I can slow my breath down when I'm paying attention to it. Anyone here want to pay attention to their breath 24 hours a day? Every single breath, even while you sleep, just to make sure you're breathing slow? Anybody? Because I don't. And to that end, I really enjoy mouth taping. Now, if you have TMJ or a disorder of the jaw where you can't keep your mouth closed, that's fine. If you've never mouth taped before, maybe try it an hour before bed so that you can make sure you can nasal breathe before you go to sleep. And the reason I love mouth taping so much is because I get to work out when I sleep. Who doesn't like training when they're napping? I think it's absolutely fantastic. Myotape is one of my favorites. They have stuff for people with a goatee as well. It just sits around your lips and keeps your lips gently closed at night. Try it for a little bit, and it's not just that nasal breath. It's your CO2 threshold really impacts your cadence. If I'm breathing quickly, you can hear the obstruction. If I'm breathing nice and slow, no obstruction. The only way that I know how to slow this down unconsciously is to work your CO2 threshold. Not necessarily the most comfortable exercise we're going to tell people to do. And when you do find your CO2 threshold, that's you mainlining fear. Look at that. You get to experience fear right at the base level of your brain, and it usually looks like this. So if you find you've hit that point, that's okay. We were looking for it. We want to gently push up against it, which is why Breathe Light is such a fantastic exercise, because you're gently looking for where your body becomes sensitive to CO2 without fully stepping in. One of the drawbacks of doing the CO2 tables is you may walk headfirst into that wall. So buyer beware. And I find Breathe Light to be one of the harder exercises to really understand. So I'd like to go over that with everybody today. Yes, we're practicing a lateral expansion of the upper and lower ribs. So as we're here, I want everyone to take a nice gentle breath in, neck relaxed, jaw relaxed, tongue to the roof of the mouth. Let it out. Keep the body relaxed and just wait for that gentle urge to breathe. When that gentle urge to breathe finds you, I want you to take a slow breath in through the nose, just to the point where you almost satisfy that urge to breathe. You're not quite satisfying it, so take that gentle breath in. Stop when you almost satisfy that urge to breathe and let go. You're trying to cultivate a constant, gentle, about a teaspoon of air hunger urge to breathe. If you have to take a gasp in, you've gone too far. This can be achieved by waiting between breaths, by not taking as full of an inhale as you normally do, but you want to be gentle. You want to keep the body relaxed as you're doing this, so you're cultivating a minor stress while consciously relaxing the body around it. This is one of my favorite paradoxes to work with. So sit in that place 10, 15, 20 minutes. Exercise your body sensitivity to CO2. It pays vast dividends. You cannot take a proper breath without proper posture. You cannot be in proper posture without a proper breath. All of this hinges on your CO2 sensitivity and lowering the amount of breaths you're unconsciously taking per minute. I can be in proper posture, I can take a proper breath, but if I am unconsciously breathing faster than I metabolically need, even through my nose, I'm still causing a bit of vasoconstriction and a rise in stress perceived by my body. And now for exercise, for keeping a nasal breath, use tools. One of my favorite tools are Breathe Right strips. And I do wear these when I sleep. It is ever so attractive. I tape my mouth shut. I wear nasal strips, and oh, that's sexy. Not really, but hey, it works. And I like Breathe Right strips. You can get them wherever you want. They just keep my nose open for me as I'm breathing. I put it on totally wrong. That's okay. There we go. That's better. You can use nasal turbines. The nasal turbines just sit right here at the base of your nose and keep your nostrils open as you're breathing. So as you're exercising, find a tool that works well for you. It's okay. I like to practice before I really learned how to jog. I practiced hiking with trekking poles to keep myself in proper posture as I move. I wanted to learn how to walk correctly before I could run. And for the first couple times I jogged, I used my trekking poles to keep myself in proper posture. There's no harm in that. Find the tool that works best for you and utilize it. I know people who jog in posture correctors just to keep themselves in this posture. I know people who use a Buteyko belt when they hike just so they can remember to hit those lateral breaths. These tools can be effective. Eventually, you're not going to need them, but in the beginning, it's totally okay. Use Breathe Right strips. Use the nasal turbines. Find the tool that works best for you. And if you're like, I don't like things in my nose, use Breathe Right strips. I don't like the sticky. They have magnets. There's so many great devices out there that can help aid you in this quest to exercise nasally. And for all of you out there who are worried, I'm not doing it right. My nose is collapsing and this is so hard. If you're not used to nasal breathing, it takes time. This is a muscle that needs to be exercised. Give yourself a break. It takes a lot of time. It's not a 8-day challenge. This is an 8-week challenge. That's a couple months. So we're not looking for overnight. We're looking for next week. So just be okay with the fact that you may need a little help. And that's all right. So the reason that urge to open your mouth is so strong is when you hit that CO2 threshold, it bypasses your amygdala and goes straight to the reptilian brain. So it does feel like panic. That's a survival instinct. Welcome to being a mammal. Try and stay calm. This is you building that CO2 threshold. So air hunger is a signal of a abundance of CO2, not a lack of oxygen, and that's the adaptation zone. So can you stay in that state consciously while you're exercising? And if you're exercising and you want to curse at me, well done, you're doing it right. It's okay when you hit that state. So you don't want to ignore the air hunger. So you can go back to 8-5-12-5. You remember that slight hunger at the end of that 12-second exhale and during that 5-second hold? Practice that. Practice breathe light so that you'll feel calmer when it happens mid-run. Exercise how you want to feel before you're experiencing it in real time. Discomfort is a signal, not a stop sign. So we're going to recap all of these things. The checklist is posture, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over heels. Now, to find the proper posture, so many people's hips are tilted forward or back. I want you to stand tall, push with your toes into the ground, and you'll notice yourself rock back. You want your feet to be 2 fists apart. Rock back, push with the heels, rock forward, and you will feel a point where that pressure gets taken off your hips. You'll feel your hips kind of center and hold that pose. Your ears will probably be over your shoulders will be over your hips, and your hips will be over your heels. Practice that lateral breath. Practice that lateral breath while walking. Once you nail it walking, move to jogging. Chest breathing, completely suboptimal. You want a 360 expansion of the body. And if visual cues help, this is you on a full exhale. That's you on a full inhale. You should be able to fit inside yourself. And yes, I keep those cups there just for that demonstration. Nasal only breaths are the goal. However, if you find yourself hitting that CO2 threshold, it's okay to take 1 or 2 mouth breaths to blow off that extra CO2 to allow you to switch back to a nasal breath. That I need to breathe, too much CO2. Switch back to that nasal rhythm. This is you being your body's pilot, not its passenger. One of my favorite quotes is, "Don't learn how to fight while you're in one." This applies to running as well. Learn how to accommodate and feel that CO2 threshold before you're actually exercising so that you're familiar and comfortable with that sensation and experience. Stay calm. To stay calm, stay in proper posture. All of these things feed on each other and into each other. Keep yourself tall. A string pulling yourself tight. 2 steps back. You know, remember that album from the 90s? Sit properly in your chair. Give yourself the support you need throughout the day. So 8-5-12-5 for me is a great nervous system reset. Use it pre-run. Use it post-run. Anytime you want to step into that focus and calm. Pick one practice we went over this week. Layer it with the rest of what you're already doing. I don't feel breathwork's about adding complexity. I feel it's about removing friction so that you can move freely. Optimize your posture. Optimize your tongue posture. And if you're having difficulty here, go see a myofunctional specialist. These people are absolutely incredible at training you to put your tongue in the right place. Some breath workers are helpful here. Go see the person who really knows what they're talking about. A myofunctional specialist will rock your world. If you're like, it's just so hard, they'll be able to tell you if you have a tongue tie. They'll help you get proper tongue posture. They'll tell you how your jaw is supposed to be. They can really optimize that nasal breathing rhythm. So if you're finding you have physical difficulties entering these places, find someone who can help you. Woo! Now that was a 5K sprint for me. I'd like to leave it open for questions and comments. You can type it in the chat. If you'd like, you can unmute and ask. If you see multiple people unmuting, be kind and wait your turn. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now. Thank you so much for your time and attention today, everybody.
Thanks, Chuck.
You're welcome, Ms. Perrin.
Yeah.
All right. This is a great question. My problem is that I get a runny nose, especially when it becomes colder outside. That's normal. That's normal. Run with a tissue. If it's cold, wear a scarf to help keep the breath warm as you're running. It's okay to use tools. It gets better over time. I'd like to say my nose doesn't run anymore, but if I'm running in the spring, I dump, and that's okay. That takes a couple days for my body to get used to what's happening. Shiraz, you have a question?
Yes, please. You've probably answered it with your previous answer. In the cold weather, trying to breathe through my nose, I get brain freeze.
Mm-hmm. A balaclava or a scarf is awesome.
Okay.
And it's okay to use something like that. If I'm running in hot, I generally don't run in hot weather because it's too much. I will go to a gym and move into a place where it's not 40 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So at some point, your body can adapt, but someone just, to dovetail to what you said, Shiraz, my nose starts to burn when I exercise and run. Yeah, that's pretty normal. Take a breath through the mouth to help clear that. Slow down for a moment. It'll go away. The way that was explained to me is that's just you feeling the nitric oxide being produced in your nasal cavity as you're running. So congratulations on having that happen.
Okay.
But, a scarf or a balaclava.
And just as a follow-up to that, when you're sitting in a sauna and breathing through your nose, again, I find that quite difficult.
Slow and calm. Then this is where it starts to get really kind of minutia and niche. If you breathe fast in the sauna, you're going to feel it. That burn in your nose, that, ooh, that's rough. You can use a cool towel to help humidify the air, but breathe slow and gently as if you're not trying to disturb a feather. And you'll find that it's a lot more amenable to sit in that sauna.
Perfect. I'll try that. Thanks very much.
Mm-hmm. Lydia.
Hi, Chuck. I've got a couple of questions. One is, if you are with a client at their house and they are sat, for example, on a couch or something, would you ask them to move to a harder, more firm, upright chair, or will you work with them where they want to work?
That's a tricksy question. It depends on how adversarial my client is. If I'm working with a teenager, I'm probably not going to ask them to move. They're not going to do it. I'm going to try and get them to be in as optimal posture as I can wherever they're at. If they're amenable, I'm going to ask, can you move for me? Let's get you to a better seat. And if they're not going to move and they're going to be on that couch as often as they are, it behooves us to find that proper posture on the couch. Can you get them to put their feet flat on the floor? To push with the hands, open them up and relax the body? That's going to be helpful. It's going to train them, get them to sit in that correct way. And I'd like to say as a parent, my kids are never on a screen. That'd be a lie. I'd like to say that, but that'd be a lie. The deal with them being on a screen is if I catch you sitting in improper posture on a screen, you got to listen to me talk about breath for 5 minutes. And that's like the ultimate punishment for them, is to hear me speak. So find something that'll help motivate them to do what they're doing, but better. Trying to get someone to move from a couch to a chair is great in the moment, but if they're going to be on the couch, you might as well work where they're at. And you'll find that they'll appreciate you more because of it. Oh, I got to stay on my couch today, but ooh, this feels a little better. And for all of you out there, stepping into a proper posture, breathing biomechanically correct, if it feels weird, that is normal. If you haven't been doing it correctly, suddenly moving to the way it's supposed to be done is going to feel odd. So expect your brain to be like, why are we doing this? I don't like it. Just be aware that that's a thing. I'd like to say all of my clients always do the right thing. No, it takes time. It takes time. And that's okay. Great question.
Thank you. I've got one other question, which is unrelated to that one, which is, I don't know if you'll be able to answer it anyway, but it's when I run, so I breathe nasally and slow and low, and that's excellent. I just get an ache in my shoulder, and I wasn't sure whether you happen to have any tips or advice on that or not.
Are you moving your arms when you run?
Yes. So I'll just stand up a sec. So originally when I was running my arms across, and then I was told your arms should not be across your body, they should be running forward, but that made it worse.
So right leg moves forward, left arm comes forward. Left leg comes forward, right arm comes forward. So it's like an X. You don't have to have like blade hands. I hear a lot of the military people say, run with blade hands. You're not the T-1000. You don't necessarily need to do that. But you do want to keep your hands relaxed. And there is a reason they tell you to put your hands like this. And I'm going to show everyone. I want everyone to make fists like you're on a long run. Clench your teeth like you're at the end of that long run. And take a deep breath for me. You're not going to be able to. So it may be something where your fist might be clenched, your jaw might be clenched, and there's some restriction in the lateral movement of the ribs. And if you are going vertical, low, slow, and deep, you can still move up. That's going to cause stress in the back of the neck here and the shoulders. This movement here helps everything move and articulate the way it should. So try with that lateral movement and see if that affects everything. Keep the hands open so as to not bring tension here. The reason I'm so aware...
Sorry, so like open but like relaxed open, so not necessarily like blades, but just like that.
Yeah, relax. No tension in the fists, no tension in the jaw.
Okay.
When we tense our jaw, the neck tightens, the head comes forward, and it's so much stress for the body. So if there's discomfort for anybody, can you walk nice and steady? And just see with your arms swinging naturally how that feels. Slowly pick up the pace and find where that wall occurs for you. So it's about gently looking for that limit with respect, not being like, well, if I sprint, it occurs. So take time. It's okay if it's slow going, but that lateral expansion with the hands relaxed should help release the tension from the shoulders if you incorporate a relaxed jaw with that as well. This is just how our body works. And realize if you're unintentionally clenching your teeth, you're allowing stress to stack everywhere through your body, and you're limiting that low, slow, deep breath you're looking for. Good question.
Thank you very much. I look forward to trying that.
What about people who experience a bladder spasm when trying to work on CO2 tolerance? Be near a restroom. That's it. I don't have anything else for that. Mouth taping at night does help reduce the need to use the restroom at night. And that bladder spasm is completely normal. It is a sign of fear. Like you've hit your CO2 threshold and you're dumping waste so that you can sprint away faster. This is your body assuming there's a big, scary, sharp, pointy teeth monster out there. So it goes, let go of everything. That way I can run faster without the bladder distracting me. So if you know that you have a bladder spasm when you do CO2 training, use the restroom first. Preempt that help. And yeah, that's what I got for that. I don't know anything more than just be near a restroom and use the restroom beforehand. And the more you work your CO2 threshold, the less you should be experiencing that. Can you explain in detail where your tongue should be in the roof of your mouth? Now, for those of you with English as your first language, this example may be very helpful. If English is not your first language, I hope it tracks. Because I'm American, I only speak one. I don't know how to do this for anyone else's fancy word talk. So say the sound t, 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 t or d, 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 t, 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 d, d, d. That is where the tip of your tongue is supposed to rest on your mouth. It's about 2 millimeters back from your teeth before you feel your mouth slope up into the roof of your mouth. There's a little bridge right there, a little bit of a gap, and you want to put it right there at the beginning of the gap. Now, say the word ring or thing and hold the ing. Ring or thing. And you'll feel the middle of your tongue go up to the part of your mouth it's supposed to sit at. Now, if your tongue is not going here when you make these noises or you make these sounds, this is where a myofunctional therapist is going to be absolutely integral, because you may have something going on that doesn't allow your tongue to move correctly to the roof of your mouth. So when it's there, tip of the tongue to the t spot, the middle of the tongue to the ring spot, teeth apart, your top teeth and bottom teeth, gently touch, close your lips, separate your teeth, swallow. Now you don't even need to think about how to keep your tongue up there. It's going to be held there with suction. And if you swallow too much and your cheeks go into your teeth, just take a little air and push them away so that you're not biting your cheeks as you're running or exercising. But that's your tongue gently at the roof of your mouth. And if you'd like, you can even press a little bit more and engage these muscles right under your throat. Don't push too hard. You'll give yourself a tension headache, to really help that fascia reinforce your posture throughout your day. A gentle pressing with the tongue can turn a posture that is mildly suboptimal into a completely optimal posture. And this helps you stay in this pose all day long. Gently pressing. Now, please be aware, you do not want your tongue pushing against your teeth. It can cause your teeth to actually misalign. So if that's something, again, you need to see someone about that. Tongue resting at the roof of your mouth, not pushing against your teeth. Gentle reinforcement to stand tall. I've been utilizing nasal breathing during running, kettlebell, and strength training and sprinting for a few years. Now I can say I learned quite a bit today. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Patrick wants to know, how can I train my students to understand the mechanics of 360 expansion through hands-on exercises? How can we expand the capacity for our tightly wound abs and back? Great question. If you have a partner or you're working with people, just have them place their hands on your lower ribs. Breathe into their hands. They should feel your lower ribs move like a bucket handle and push their hand away. For the upper ribs, same thing. Hands just like this, pushing on the upper ribs, and it should open up. This is where a tool, literally a cloth measuring tape, is absolutely phenomenal. They're going to be able to track their movement and growth in their lateral expansion. And if things are too tight, simply aiming for a biomechanical breath should help loosen things up. And you can do, I think, air stacking. The top of the breath exercise is going to be really good. So we can do that all together. Everyone take a nice big deep breath in. Open your mouth and pull in a little more air. Swallow. And feel that tension. That's full lungs. Relax. And now we go the other way, which you exhale. And when you think you're done, start counting down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's going to be hard. It's going to be weird. Keep pushing it out. Push, 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 push. And when you can't get any more out, don't take a breath in. Relax this muscle and watch your body breathe itself. That's called the bottom of the breath. That's a great diaphragm mobility exercise. The top and bottom of the breath. The top of the breath allows it to descend. The bottom of the breath allows it to ascend. So that's really going to help. That being said, put your hands like this. Relax. And gently, under your ribs, massage your diaphragm. Don't push too hard. Most people never do this. I encourage my clients to do this every day. Get in there. Be gentle. Mobilize that, and you're going to feel everything start to loosen up because you're paying attention. You can even massage around the sternum. You can do 10 taps up and down the sternum to help mobilize the ribs and take bigger breaths. But keeping the neck relaxed as you breathe is really going to help loosen everything up here. If you're working with your clients and you're taking those vertical breaths, that's where a lot of the tightness comes from, because my rib cage is static, not dynamic. With those vertical breaths, you want dynamic movement as you're breathing. You don't want that static rise. That's just going to be a lot of tension. Okay, excellent point. Now, as a male instructor, this is not something I would have ever come across, which is why it's important to vet your sources. Kate pointed out, Lydia, if that doesn't help, perhaps check the fit of your sports bra, straps and underbust too. The tight could cause a breathing mechanics to shift. For whatever reason, that's not something I would have ever thought of. I don't know why. It's just not on my radar. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate.
Go ahead.
I was saying thank you to Kate. That was all. Appreciate it.
Will it eventually go away? I don't know. And that was in regards to the bladder spasm. I have no idea. That is an empirical request for a subjective experience. I'm not sure. It may be better over time, but that's not something that I can tell you for sure, because that would be hubris, and I don't know. So please let me know. I'd love to know if you're finding a reduction using these exercises. That would be most helpful. But those are all the questions. Those are all the comments. Thank you all so much for your time and attention. It was a privilege and pleasure to speak with you today about my favorite topic, breath.